Patrick Hicks Music Stories presents Every Grammys Ever, the 60th Annual Grammy Awards, January 28th, 2018. So tonight's host is James Corden, coming back for the second year in a row. We see Jay-Z with the most nominations tonight with 8, but he doesn't win the most awards. Instead, that is Bruno Mars, an artist who we've seen get a lot of nominations over the last decade or so, but tonight he finally owns a night. He wins Song and Record of the Year with different songs. This is something that rarely happens at the Grammys. We've only seen a handful of artists even nominated in these two categories with different songs in the same year. You had the Beatles back in 1965 with I Wanna Hold Your Hand in Record of the Year and A Hard Day's Night in Song of the Year. You had Cyndi Lauper in 1985 with Girls Just Wanna Have Fun in Record of the Year and Time After Time in Song of the Year. TLC in 2000 with No Scrubs and Unpretty. U2 in 2002, who almost pulled it off. They won Record of the Year for Walk On and were nominated for Song of the Year for Stuck in a Moment You Can't Get Out Of. Beyoncé also almost pulled it off. She won Song of the Year for Single Ladies, but lost Record of the Year with Halo. And then we also saw it this year with Jay-Z. In Song of the Year, he's nominated for 444, and for Record of the Year, he's nominated for The Story of O.J. But before Bruno Mars tonight, the only artist who had ever actually pulled it off was Carole King, way back in 1972. She won Record of the Year for It's Too Late, and Song of the Year for You've Got a Friend. Now tonight, Bruno Mars wins Song of the Year with the song That's What I Like.
For you, that's what I like, that's what I like. Oh, I'm talking trips to Puerto Rico. Say the word and we go. You can be my flico, girl, I'll be your flico.
Beating out Jay-Z's 444. Issues by Julia Michaels. 1-800-273-8255 by Logic featuring Alicia Cara and Khalid. And Despacito by Luis Fonsi, Daddy Yankee, and Justin Bieber, which would have been cool to see the first ever Spanish language song win a Song of the Year, but Bruno Mars takes it. But then That's What I Like is not nominated in Record of the Year. Instead, he wins Record of the Year with the song 24K Magic.
I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket, keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket, keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face, say my mother, y'all be trying to keep up.
Which beats out Jay-Z's The Story of O.J., Despacito, plus Kendrick Lamar's Humble, and Childish Gambino's Redbone. Alicia Cara, who was nominated for Song of the Year for that phone number song, also does win Best New Artist tonight, beating out Khalid, who was also on that song, Julia Michaels, who was also nominated in that category, plus SZA and Lil Uzi Vert. Now Bruno Mars also wins Best R&B Performance and Best R&B Song for That's What I Like. 24K Magic wins Best R&B Album. Childish Gambino wins Best Traditional R&B Performance for Redbone. And then Kendrick Lamar sweeps the rap categories. Humble wins Best Rap Performance and Best Rap Song. Loyalty with Rihanna wins Best Rap Sung Performance. And Damn wins Best Rap Album. Now here are the nominees for Album of the Year. Bruno Mars for 24K Magic. Kendrick Lamar for Damn. Jay-Z for 444. Childish Gambino for Awaken My Love. And Lorde gets her first Album of the Year nomination for the album Melodrama. This is actually Lorde's only nomination for the night. But before we get to the winner, let's talk about some albums from 2017 that were not nominated. So this is the year of SZA's debut album, Control, and she gets 5 nominations tonight, but no wins. You've also got Tyler, the Creator's 5th album, Flower Boy. He does get his first nomination tonight on his own in Best Rap Album, which he loses. His only nomination before this was at the 55th Annual Awards, where he was nominated for being on Frank Ocean's album, Channel Orange. Tyler does eventually get a win, but he only has 2 wins out of 5 nominations in his career. You've also got LCD Soundsystem with their comeback album American Dream. Now this does actually get them their first Grammy win tonight. They win in the category Best Dance Recording for the song Tonight. They are also nominated in Best Alternative Music Album, but they lose to The National for Sleep Well Beast. This is the National's second Grammy nomination and their first win. Also in that category you had Father John Misty's album Pure Comedy. He loses there but does win tonight for Best Recording Package. These are his first ever Grammy nominations, and that is his only win. You've also got Vince Staples' second album, Big Fish Theory, no nominations. You've got, of course, another Lana Del Rey album, Lust for Life. This actually does get her a nomination tonight for Best Pop Vocal Album, but she loses to Ed Sheeran. You've got Phoebe Bridgers' debut album, Stranger in the Alps. And then finally the Drake album, More Life. This album was a big hit, it was all over the radio that year, but it wasn't nominated for any Grammys because Drake didn't submit it. Drake had been pretty critical about the Grammys before, not just in that Macklemore versus Kendrick incident, but also when his song Hotline Bling won Best Rap Song, he said, "This is not a rap song." By the way, Macklemore and Ryan Lewis also joined Frank Ocean in not submitting their album to the Grammys last year. So now, whether you like Drake or not, we have two of the biggest artists in the world, Frank Ocean and Drake, refusing to submit their music to what is supposed to be the biggest and most important awards show. It's not really music's biggest night if you're missing two of the biggest artists in music. And this is unprecedented. The only artist who had ever refused a Grammy in the entire history of the awards show was Sinead O'Connor back in the 1990s. And Frank Ocean and Drake are not going to be the last. And the Grammy goes to
24 Karat Magic, Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars 24K Magic. This is actually impressive. I feel like the Grammys had 4 chances out of 5 to make the right choice here, and somehow they picked the one most least deserving album. Kendrick Lamar is snubbed again, Jay-Z doesn't get an Album of the Year win, this was probably his last shot at it, and given the Grammys' history, you would think Jay-Z kind of makes sense. It's an older artist who never got rewarded before, they put out a great late period album. That's usually the recipe for Grammys gold, but I think the Grammys have made it clear that that recipe doesn't apply to rappers. And so the Album of the Year goes to a really great performer, a great songwriter. I really like Bruno Mars, but this is a pretty average album. The Grammys had started the decade strong and are ending it disastrously. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time for the highs and lows of the 61st Annual Grammys in 2019.
My left stroke just went viral. Right stroke put little baby in a spiral. Soprano C, we like to keep it on.